Legalization of cannabis is a reality in New York, but what remains to be seen is where exactly people will be able to smoke it. The state's new law allows for consumption lounges, but we don't know how many there will be. Tonight, the I-Team's Chris Glorioso goes inside this debate. Should New York City nightlife look more like Amsterdam?
Under pot prohibition, TV cameras would never be invited inside an underground party like this. There are buds, bowls, and joints at every table. The location, a closed Manhattan restaurant, kept secret until the last minute.
But when you smoke weed, it's a different level of chill.
Bautista and Ramon Reyes organized this hazy party, and they invited the I-Team to give you a look at the future of indoor cannabis consumption. They say they know a thing or two about that because they've been dodging police, hosting illegal cannabis parties for years. What was it like to operate a cannabis speakeasy?
Well, it was basically like, people were already smoking. There was always been cannabis in New York, so it was just creating a safe space for people to gather.
We were the actual proof of that this can actually work without any problems.
Now that cannabis is legal in New York, Ramon and Vlad want their company, Happy Munkey, to be the first in line for a permit to operate a New York City consumption lounge.
The bill is passed.
In passing New York's legalization bill, lawmakers left a lot of details up to the new Office of Cannabis Management, mostly appointed by the governor. That office will determine whether there should be lots of indoor consumption lounges or just a few. Too few, and people who live in federally funded housing like NYCHA may not have a place to smoke. Cannabis is still banned here.
If you did not create a safe place for people to smoke, people could lose their homes.
But there are also fears too many cannabis consumption lounges will crowd out more mundane storefronts that residents rely on, especially in city neighborhoods with lots of nightlife already.
We want a dry cleaner. We want a laundromat. We want a shoemaker. We want a fish store. Why do we need another bar?
Bert Lazarin is a longtime community board member in Chelsea and Hell's Kitchen. He's hopeful state regulators will require cannabis lounges to apply for permits in much the same way new bars must gain community board approval for liquor licenses. Mayor de Blasio's director of nightlife says the city has a good track record balancing business and neighborhood interests.
We have to, as a city, prioritize and recognize that we're all in this together, and we're all going to have to make some sacrifices, but we're also going to have to respect each other and our right to party.
Back inside this cannabis party, the vibes are nothing but positive, with New York poised to become one of the world's largest legal cannabis markets. The organizers have a bold prediction.
Eventually, bud life, cannabis life, comparing it to nightlife, will be bigger than alcohol and hospitality.
The cannabis party you just saw was at a private restaurant closed to the public, so the hosts believe it is legal under the cannabis legalization in New York. But just to be clear, the state has yet to issue rules for indoor consumption lounges, so it is fair to say that kind of party could be in a gray area of the law. Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York.